looking at. So we're looking at the topic, what is your greatest fear, right? What is your greatest fear? That's what we're looking at today, so so looking at fear from many different angles, right? Fear is what it is, right? But in terms of psychoanalysis, psychology, people have looked at fear, different types of fear. We're not going to look at all the type of fear, today, but we're going to look at some general fear, that will probably be a catch-all, for all the ones who probably would not mention today. But we're looking at fear as something, as a factor that hinders also having a good life, having a quality life, right? Having a happy life. It hinders our ability to relate, right? Having quality relationship, and the first fear we want to look at is a fear of failure, right? A lot of people don't achieve because they are scared that they're going to fail. I was listening to Jim Rohn some years ago, and he was talking about, most people fail because they don't even show up. They don't even start. It's not as if they did it and they failed. It's that they don't even show up. That fear keeps them away from day one. They don't even attempt to do what they're supposed to do. They have never even tried it to see if they might succeed. The fear keeps them away from day one. They are defeated even before trying. That's where a lot of people find themselves, and they keep on giving excuses and never even make the attempt to start, right? So they don't have a quality life. They don't have a good life without even making an attempt to have one. They are defeated already in their mindset. They cannot see themselves succeeding. They cannot see themselves happy. They cannot see themselves having a good life. Someone was sharing today about someone who is 48 years old, never married, never had children, and attempted suicide twice. And the question is, how do you cancel such a person? That reminds me of someone else who I was sharing with, I was counseling years back. And she told me that, wow, if all she's ever known in her life is been hurt, it's been pain, how does she go? How does she succeed? And I wrote a whole series on that, the power of visualization, the power of visualization. You cannot be what you cannot see. If you cannot see it, you cannot be it, right? You have to see to be. That's why it's easy for someone who has succeeded before to continue to succeed, because he has a picture, the emotions of succeeding, right? And though that is reality for that person, even someone that does not have it before can synthesize it. If you synthesize it, you create that picture, you will have the same emotion and the same drive to succeed. Right? I can't remember the name of the judge now, but the story about this judge years back, where some people used to bully him. The way he succeeded was he spent his holiday reading about a superhero, and he began to imagine himself as that superhero. That is how he was able to overcome the bullies in his life. If you read my series on power visualization, you'll see that story there. It's all on my blog, on my website. Uncle Akin, all right. If you look for Uncle Akin, I have a website called Uncle Akin, right? And it's the blog site. You will find it, the power of visualization, right? And just anybody writing, you can find that. That would help you, right? You don't have to give in to the fear of failure. You need to make attempts in life. You have to take your chances. Take your chances, step out, right? You might fail the first attempt, you might fail the second attempt, you might fail the third attempt, but there's something that begins to change on the inside of you as you take your chances. There's something that begins to change on the inside of you, which does not happen if you never take your chances, right? So a lot of people are pretty much hindered by the fear of failure. and they don't have a good life. It has nothing to do with being in Nigeria. It has nothing to do with your location. It has nothing to do with your parents. It has nothing to do with the government. It has nothing to do with the environment. It has everything to do with you. Can you see yourself succeeding? Dare to see yourself succeeding. Dare to see yourself overcoming. And step out and do it. Step out and do something. It's not doing something very big. It's doing the little you can do. Take baby steps, baby steps, baby steps, baby steps. This is what children do. Sometimes it's because we're grown up to be adults. That's where this fear comes. If a baby has a fear of failure, that baby will never grow. That baby will never walk. You see, babies will stand up to try and walk, fall down, try again, fall down, try again, fall down, until they get it, right? Their infant mindset cannot see themselves not standing, cannot see themselves not walking. They see themselves walking. That is why they continue to try until they get it. Imagine if that baby does not try, it will never walk. We need to imbibe that baby mindset if we're going to win in life. Whatever it is you want to be, whatsoever thing you want to become, you need to do it. Try no matter how bad. Do it badly at first because you don't know how to do it. But as you do it badly, you learn, you get better until you can walk. Then you learn to walk then until you can run. You learn to run until you can fly. That's going to fly the first day. You're not going to run the first day. You're not going to walk the first day. You're not going to crawl the first day. But you got to try. You have to take your chances. That's the only way you're going to make it in life, right? So we need to defeat this fear, right? By just taking up the same mindset of a child, right? If you're going to have a good life, irrespective of where you are, you have to take your chances, right? All right, let's go on to the next fear. All right, the next fear we have here is the fear of success, right? So we talked about the fear of failure. Now is the opposite, seeming opposite, the fear of success. You know, success has a way of changing everything about you, right? There is an opportunity cost for succeeding. It means that you might have to move away from your project to where you live to the town. It means that you might have new friends. It means that you might have a different schedule. You might not be able to run the same schedule that you run. There is something you give for succeeding. And some people don't understand that, or some people hold so tightly to what they have right now that they don't want to succeed. They don't want to lose it, but until you let go, you cannot have what you're looking for. You have to embrace life. Don't be too tied to what you have. If you truly want success, if you want a good life, you have to be willing to take the chance to grow. Take the chance to grow. Take the chance to embrace life, right? Yes, you're going to have to change some of your friends. You might have to change your environment. You might have to change your location. Your schedule might change. But that's the cost of the success that you want. Nothing goes for nothing. You have to get that clear in your mind. Nothing goes for nothing. If you're going to succeed, you have to pay a price. Question, is what you want worthy or worth the price you have to pay? Would you want to stay in the same place all your life and not grow? Because if you're going to grow, there's a price to pay. And you have to make up in your mind that what you want is bigger than the price you have to pay. You're not going to eat your cake and have it, right? Question, is the good life you're looking for worth letting go of what you presently hold on to, right? So success has, so you have to clear your mind with the fact that, you know, there is a price to pay and you have to embrace that price, right? Embrace that price if you're going to have a good life, right? So But that stops some people, you know, and sometimes it's other people that influence them, you know, because when you grow up, oh, you don't like us anymore, you don't work with us anymore, against, I mean, it is what it is. You did not come to this life before with those people. Before them, you had friends. After them, you will have friends. Not everybody is meant to go all the distance with you. When it gets to the bus stop, some people need to drop from your boss. Let them go. Let them go. Because if you don't let them go, they become a weight on you to keep you from fulfilling your destiny, to keep you from being happy, to keep you from expressing the fullness of who you are, right? The expression of the fullness of who you are is worth letting some people go. It's worth letting baggages drop, right? Don't be scared of that. Embrace life. Embrace what God has created you to be, right? And you'll be glad you did, right? So let's go on to the next fear, right? And the next fear we'll see here is a fear of loss, right? Some people, and the example really that they gave in this book for this part was had to do with the fear of loss. We're all gonna die one day. You need to come to peace with that. We're all gonna die one day. Nobody's gonna live here forever. You're gonna love, your parents will die one day. People you love will die one day. You yourself will die one day. That which is inevitable should not disturb your life. I had one of my sisters, my little sister's Aburo, dear one, you know, a sister died and she could not handle it. She mourned so much that she became paralyzed, you know. I mean, life will do that if you're not prepared for it. Yes, we need to come to terms with the fact of loss, where someone's going to die. People will love will die. People who don't love will die. Death is an inevitable, is inevitable. You have to you have to come to terms with that. Someone's dying should not destabilize your life. And there's no need to fear it because it's going to happen. So you have to make up your mind and accept the inevitability of it. We're all going to live here someday, sometime. What we pray for, like we would pray in my native language, it'll be let the days be far from one another. We don't want people to die too early, right? We don't want people to die at the wrong time in our life, right? We'll pray for that. But sometimes it happens. If it does, we need to come to terms with it. Don't let that be the reason why you are not moving your life forward. Don't let it hinder you. Don't let it hold you captive. Maybe at this point is where I need to probably talk about fear itself. Fear at a normal level is okay, right? Fear is good if it's just at a normal level, the same way anxiety is good, right? Or when we talk about anxiety disorder, is when we have an overly inappropriate anxiety that lasts longer than it should. If all we have is an anxiety and we let it go, it's okay. It is a protective mechanism that God has put into our lives, right? Because if there's no anxiety or something to prick us, we will die. We will not rise up to the requirements of life. We will not build ourselves in such a way that we can evolve, right? Fear is good because I fear burning, I would keep away from fire. Fear tells me the need to protect myself, right, in one form or the other, right? So, and I see my dear brother, you know, typing along. Thanks, Victor. I appreciate that. All right, at least I know I'm projecting with your text. Thank you. Thanks for coming along. So fairness in just a normal level is good because it helps us to it gives us caution. But when we talk about fear in this wise, when we talk about fear that limits our life, is when that fear begins to limit us and control us. Fear that we can control is okay, but fear that is out of control, that begins to then control our life, right? It's not okay. That's of the devil. It's not of God, right? So we need to, and one of the ways we overcome that is that we come to terms with it, right? We'll come to terms with it, and we'll talk about this more later as we talk about how to handle fear as a whole. But you need to come to terms with loss. You're going to die one day, right? You're going to lose some things, right? All you can do is do what you can do, but don't be overly protective of it. Don't let it control you. Always stay above controlling it, right? Don't let it take away the good life that God wants to give to you, right? Let's go on to the next one here.